Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a best of 5 Terran versus Protoss. I have no idea whether to expect a 15-minute or 115-minute series from these two, but because we risked the game being over before I finish the introductions, put your likes and subscribes together. For in the top right, the man who makes not having a plan look like the only option for a real man. Of course, it's Zest, who's been on his last tournament before joining the Korean military for about 2 years now, and counting. One who's already returned, though, and is approaching his former strength, looking better with time. Though maybe his wrists might fight back against that. Of course, Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. ByuN still a very headstrong, stylistic player who refuses to acknowledge sometimes what he should be doing and instead embraces what he could be doing. Now it works out much of the time, but when it doesn't, at least it's dramatic. So, on the bright side. I guess we're doing the Zealot now. I've seen a whole lot of Protoss. Did he scout? Did Zest, what is it? What is this pylon placement, Zest? High ground. Okay, I guess he's preparing for any sort of early aggression. You are against ByuN, but I've been seeing this from a lot of the Korean Protoss. Just building the Zealot. Doesn't matter if there's a proxy. Just opening up and retaking the initiative against, well, what is oftentimes a Reaper. No Reaper this time around for ByuN, just starts with the reactor. Yeah. I guess it does make the early game a bit more stable. Stargate for Zest, slaps it down right in the center there. And that pylon, he could build shield batteries on the low ground, or use shield batteries near the ramp. I don't know, Zest does as Zest do. As the proverb goes. ByuN with a remarkably standard build. And at this point, 3 racks has gone from a novelty to one of the major choices. As it essentially allows you to deal with, one, like the either greedy or not so greedy blink pressure. You have any sort of timing to attack early on rather than relying on what Protosses have come to defend pretty well as Widowmine drops, stuff like that. Of course, if it doesn't work out, you're left without a factory or a starport for quite a while. So, of course, ByuN, who loves those M-flavored units, Marines, Marauders, eventually Medivacs, and occasionally Mines. He's gonna try to anything that allows him to micro Marines instead of doing anything else is pretty much ByuN's go-to. For better or worse. We'll see if Zest is able to understand this revelation. 5 Marines, enough to kill the Oracle before the Oracle can kill them. Zest just works his way by, targets the Mule. ByuN, good stutter step, bruises the Oracle. Oracle has to turn its pointy, fancy, pretentious nose away and go to the dead space behind the mineral. Don't do it. Just don't, Zest. He does. Of course he does. Slides by, gets one more on the way out. One for the road. And of course, Moracles. Oh, Plethoracles. Will it be Foracles? No, we're not. Not today. Not today! 3 oracles. Stop it. Stop. Twilight, just read the production tab like a normie, alright? Twilight, forge some shield batteries to potentially deal with any early stim-based aggression. The oracles, of course, well, that did not go well. That was not... he bungled. That was a bungling. He bungled it. Zest bungled that attack The Oracles, because of their acceleration, they're kind of finicky units. When you control them perfectly, it feels like they can almost shoot while moving. If you control them not perfectly, it feels like they can't move at all. Because it takes them so long to stop and start moving, it's very easy to lose track of, especially when you have multiple. They're all slightly in different spots. Oh my god. Okay, just leave. Just get out, Zest. You know what he's doing. He's risking... I guess kind of the point of building multiple is that you can lose one or two and still have... Yeah, Zest is like, actually, it was lag, bro. Just go. It was lag. Okay, your mom was texting me again on AIM. And right now I'm actually in a coffee shop waiting for her, and the Wi-Fi isn't great. I'm playing on my phone, but you have a phone. I've got Diablo Immortal on the other tab. This coffee is too expensive, so I'm not. My character is not as powerful as it could be. But you know what? Anyways, dude, time out. That's way too many. Whoa, bro, come on. Anyways, well, Zest, he built this defensive posture. He built multiple shield batteries. He had sentries, oracles, all that, and then he just moved out and lost. It's getting a little better as time goes on. The oracles clean up the rest of the marines because there is not the critical mass, and that was all pre-blink. ByuN picks up, and he heads to the main. Of course, Zest knows the possibility for the drops are here, but might not realize how quickly ByuN's gonna commit. There's already 4 stalkers in the main base. Setting up some base drop defense. Zest. Oh, doesn't react perfectly. Everything will unload, and this is gonna make things difficult. More stalkers warping in, but there's enough bio to deal with this here. 1 Medivac gun down, but a lot of stalkers in trade. Overall, this is definitely a win for ByuN. Able to get this many probes and stalkers. If he gets out with any Medivacs, that'd be great. But of course, Blink Stalker's pretty good at taking them down. It does even up the units lost. Just a bit. It does... Zest just has 13 Blink Stalkers and 2 Aura. That's his units right now. He's adding in some Zealots and a Prism. But... he doesn't have any other form of splash damage. He's getting a Robotics Bay and a second Robo. ByuN getting his 3rd. The Oracle's a little late to stop it. They might be able to burn a few SCVs. Yeah. Alright, 5 SC, not bad. Even a Marine, though maybe getting a little fancy here. Tags 1 Medivac. Oh, this is awkward. Spots another one. Slaps a tag on it. And Zest, I think with that, and the wow, the ghosts. ByuN adding 3 ghosts in already. Ghosts are never bad, in general. Against charge lots, against Protoss in general, EMP hits everything. Some things are obviously more reliant on the ByuN picks up. Oh my god. Did Zest see it? Oh my... It goes to the main! A recall. The obvious choice. This was out of vision for ByuN, so he might not realize the stalkers are here already. Gotta be a little careful. The pickup leaves just enough in order to block. Well, actually, ByuN! Whoa! Okay, that was a bit of a mess. There's... the Revelation spots. He's kept these oracles alive since the... Yeah, curve your bullets, Mr. Stalker. Do you blink down? This is the awkward part. He gets one. ByuN tries to get the other one out, but Zest. Ooh, decisively. That ByuN, like, he can't just do the same move again. Zest handled that about as well as you could. ByuN, probably the most predictable player at this level. You know what he wants to do. It's just a question of whether he will. And at this stage, though, unfortunately, ByuN lost so much supply. Now that the Colossi are out, there's no direct counter. Vikings in production, trying to open up some space. The Medivacs desperately healing these units that have been hitting the stim needle a little too much, and Zest just wanders right into the 3rd. EMP across the bow, hits everything, trying to target down a Colossus, but the force fields were waiting for their moment. slices and dices the army. 17 SCVs down already. 21. The Colossi are killing the orbital, but it might actually just go down to the Stalkers. And with the economic hits here, the Vikings way too late to the party. The Colossi, well, more than enough. We'll lose one, but ByuN loses the game. Zest just kind of lets ByuN get himself killed here. Some annoying Oracle micro, but I would say this game was like 2 parts ByuN throwing away his units and 1 part Zest actually getting the damage done. So hopefully ByuN can calm down just a little bit as we go into game 2. Yeah, that kind of felt like Zest was just sitting back, and every time ByuN picks up his Medivacs, Zest just lets out a but, and then deals with it. Of course, they're gonna game 2 just to make it annoying for casters. Change colors. Of course, not a mirror matchup, so isn't so difficult to keep track, but just I doubt these players are playing with team colors, so. We had our ByuN special here, which is dropping the main for better or worse. As his signature and possibly only move. The Zest special is attacking with way too few units, losing them, and then just losing because he didn't build any units that can kill his opponent. Kind of a similar style to ByuN, but ByuN's drops definitely had the potential to do the damage. They're just very high risk. Whereas sometimes Zest will just attack with like 17 Stalkers against, I don't know, 50 supply of Siege Tank Bio. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Occasionally the Terran will flinch and back off because they think there's more than 17 Stalkers, but there's still plenty of opportunity for that in this series. Really depends on how much, like, if Zest has an appointment for later on. That coffee shop Wi-Fi won't hold forever. Every 30 minutes they're like, are you gonna buy something? Zest's like, I brought my own coffee. Because of course he did. Hand roasted by his team of butlers back at his apartment. Sorry, penthouse. The anti-Reaper pylons. Zest really doesn't like Reaper. Look at this wall. He's put that actually does block because the Reaper can jump there, which is quite amusing. And he's just encircled. And this can backfire, as we saw somewhat in last game. It makes some of your infrastructure vulnerable to anything on that area of the map, but he really, really doesn't like Reapers. ByuN has not even bothered. TVP Reapers have kind of fallen out of style, especially just like your standard scouting Reaper, in favor of having Marines in a timely enough manner. Both because of Stargate openers and dealing with these early gateway units. ByuN, I don't think he did anything particularly wrong right up until he loaded up that last bit of Medivacs. He had the army, he had the economy. The oracles were a struggle, but he mostly dealt with it. I don't think you have to rewrite the playbook on the 3 racks here. Though he may want to be a little bit more focused on when he moves out. Again, especially if there are multiple oracles on the field. Oh my god. Crowd!
Complete. Command center.
The Zealot waiting. ByuN actually goes... Why is the Zealot still there? Why not? 100 no gas observer. Just kind of dies in the Marines, but... Wow. Oracle's coming out. The Zealot killed 1 Marine, but I don't think that'll have an impact here. Alright, Oracle. It's a 3 Rex. You can tell by the way it is. Zest slaps down a 3rd. Zest has 2 gates, but one of them is a Stargate. He's building a 2nd gateway. He sees the most aggressive potential 2-base timing. A 3 Rex stim combat shield push. And he says, yeah, totally can defend this with like 4 units. That's where we are right now. Zest has almost no units and almost... What? Why are there 2 stars? He walks up and he can... What? It's like, well, why not? All right. And he walks up, kills an SCV and like 3 Marines with 2 Stalkers. And he just walks out. I guess when you're used to moves like this, 2 gates is plenty. You can't keep getting away with it. The 3 Oracles coming enough to one-shot SCVs and Marines if he can isolate them. Yeah. Gee. Just no respect. And he keeps all the Oracles alive yet again, so... Now, he's activated almost out of energy, so they're not going to be part of any... Sees the second one. Okay, so Zest has 2 Stalkers and 3... He has 3 Stalkers and 3 Sentries. That shouldn't be enough. That Guardian Shield. Not only is that enough, it's winning. 2 Force Fields. 2 Force Fields, he just slices a nice appetizer off that army. And there's been enough time for the Oracles to recharge some of their energy. He does have a shield battery here as well. That was kind of the admission. Falls back a bit. Force Field. Loses 1 sentry. There's Blink on the way. It's still a long way off. And once that stim is gone, those Marines have a long way home. Zest not gonna pursue, but... So not only was it enough units, it was almost too many for ByuN to even think about moving out against, which... the sheer confidence of Zest, like, that is his greatest strength, I think. More than his builds or his micro, is just the confidence. You could see there, he's like, oh, that's plenty. No problem. ByuN, almost in disbelief, forced to back off. The probe with the spotter pilot. God. Who needs observers when you could just build pylons? Once again, no gas observers. That's Zest's specialty. Robo finally finishes. Second Robo. Likes what he sees. Slaps down the Robo Bank. There is still the danger of just the Medivac bio timing. That's still a lot of DPS in that army. Like, it's just a lot of units. He's got +1 stim and combat shield. None of the units that Zest has are particularly great at killing that. So the army supplies. Yeah, there's no Colossi. There's no charge. There's just a few shield batteries here, really. Zest knows exactly what this is. There's a stasis. Force field's good. Did he notice the stasis? He's trying to time this out. I'm not sure if he noticed the stasis or this is just... Oh my god. Stasis... kind of irrelevant in this. Immortal coming out. Zest is holding the line. Hold position on some of this. Looking for another revelation. Can keep trading with the Blink Stalkers. Forces another stim. Where's the shield battery overcharge? Oh, he already used the shield battery overcharge, actually. Some of the Widow Mines will burrow. ByuN just pressing the issue here, knowing his units are much more effective in medium numbers. A Widow Mine connects. Charge is not done. 2 Colossi in production, but behind this, ByuN wasn't slacking. He's got a nice amount of workers. He's got a 3rd command center finished up. And, I mean, landed on location with mules. He's actually got 11 more workers than Zest has. So, Zest was forced to spend everything building units. While ByuN, just the existence of this bio army, an immortal out, but you can see the DPS. The Colossi are required. Like, you need splash damage. Did ByuN notice that observer? Kind of hard to think about with all the revelation anyways. So Zest will hold. And he hasn't built a probe in a while. I lied. No, that just became untrue. He's got 1-1 done. On the other side, ByuN, +2 attack. Infantry attack. +1 arm. Ship weapons on the way as well. Enhanced shockwaves for the ghosts. So he's getting everything. He's getting all the goodies here. Ghosts. Vikings. Well, that's it. But those are the key. Zest, on the other hand, now is kind of in a awkward spot of having a mediocre army composition and a limited time with which to use it. Ooh, that's a lot of bio. Extended thermal lance, 12 seconds out. But with 3 Colossi, some real splash damage potential and not that many Vikings here. Prism with the army. Zest going immediately. Some of the boys actually coming out. Zealots looking for a better opportunity. Forces the EMP. Stim used. EMP actually hit the Medivacs, though, which means almost no healing potential. I wonder if Zest notices that the War Prism not being targeted. Needs to hit the Prism. Doesn't kill it before the Warp it. A lot of damage out of that Bio Army. The EMP of the Medivacs is really hurting, but the Bio Army itself does so much damage. The Prism just now died. The Colossi of Stasis hits some of the boys, and Zest somehow comes out on top of that fight. It's not over yet. More boys can be pulled. The Oracle's still trying to wander in. 30 SCVs killed. A Colossus down. But the damage has been done. He's targeting the SCVs. 43, 44 reinforcements coming from the 4th base. The Oracles, whatever energy they have, trying to burn the Ghost, gets it. What a valuable... Zest with honestly a mediocre Protoss army from an awkward angle, but ByuN kind of a bit of an own goal with the EMP. His units just couldn't heal. And Zest just walks up and grabs a victory in game 2. Okay, well that... He did not... There were so many things that could have gone wrong for Zest. The multiverse is filled with a dozen different ways that fight could have gone horribly. But here we are. ByuN had all the tools and the position as well. But it was Zest. That was one of the dumbest / genius moves I've seen. He moved his zealots off to the side, and like ByuN unthinkingly just kind of EMP'd them, which was where the Medivacs were. That weird zealot positioning actually ended up drawing ByuN into EMPing his own Medivacs, thus kind of indirectly winning Zest the fight in the long run. Oh my god. I wonder, like, it just felt like the right thing to do, I guess. He doesn't want his zealots in the way of his stalkers, like... Yeah, I'm a little disgusted. Like, he can't keep getting away with this. I've been saying that for half a decade, at least now, but... Zest is... kind of, I guess, Max Pax. Max Pax hasn't fully embraced the YOLO toss style, though. I think he's still too young. He's not an old, salty veteran Protoss, like an MC, or an SOS, a Parting, or a Zest. But eventually, Protoss players, what they really specialize in is winning. I know. It sounds, one, like a clickbait sort of statement. But think about it. What have all these, like, really world-class Protoss players? It's not really... It's just their ability to pull out a win in situations where 999 out of 1,000 players would have already lost the game. And part of that is just committing to attacks that maybe shouldn't work. But end up going okay anyways. Wait a second. No, I've done this before. I'm not a crazy person. It was hardwire. Sometimes, for some reason, because of the layout of the main and the natural, I get insane deja vu on hardwire and Glittering Ashes. It's not even that the maps are that similar. It's just the main and the natural are laid out almost identically. So when I see Zest doing the exact same setup, I'm thinking, like, have I watched this game before? But no, this is the first Reaper. It's a different game. Okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not losing it. The Stargate's in a different spot. So ByuN goes for a Reaper. He bruises the Zealot, forces it back, and now he's following up with a Cyclone. Zest has been... This is now 3 out of 3 with Stargate. He doesn't know it's a Stargate yet. But the Cyclone is just a good, not great, but good, all-around defense. He's got 2 gas very early. A second Rax, because, of course, but... The Reaper, it will make it... It sees the Stargate. As when you wall off like this, you are saying, like, the Reaper will be able to see most of your tech in the early game. ByuN going to try to intercept the Oracle with the Cyclone, which is a bit risky, because Zest is not dumb. So, not just... Uh-oh. I mean... there's a lot of mind games happening here, is the summary. Yeah, he finds the Reaper. The Oracle ends up locking onto the Zealot. We'll have vision on the high ground. Does the Oracle even have enough energy to kill the Cyclone? This is on... Oh, he gets it! With 1 energy! ByuN went hunting for the Oracle. And Zest kills him with it. God. Big game hunter. Sometimes the predator becomes the prey. Well, that is going to give Zest a lot of space to take his third. It is a bit of an awkward scenario now, because he is still playing defensive, not going to kill any SCV, slow down any production. But just investing in the Oracle that early is already a payoff for Zest. There's a Forge on the way. He's got Blink. It's going to be 3 gates. So, a slight addition here. Meanwhile, ByuN is lining up for the Medivac timing. I mean, I could have just said it's ByuN. But I gotta say something. Alright, we gotta fill the time. Not much time, but before the Medivacs pick up and go to the main. Hallucinated Phoenix will scout it. Zest is like, I don't know why I bother. I guess I saw he didn't have a third CC. That's about all the relevant info here. Zest chrono boosting a Nexus that's not building any probes next level. Making ByuN think he's chrono boosting probes. A huge brain move. And then loses his Oracle. Like, just straight up, which is not ideal. I think that was the only Oracle as well. The Revelations and even Stasis have been a huge part of these battles so far. But now Zest will be left without that almost map hack level vision. Blink is done. Stim used. He pulls the trigger on it. Trying to... Now, the danger is, of course, that some of the tech is here. So you gotta be careful that ByuN doesn't get too close. He could even snipe off the cyber core potential. ByuN picks up. Where's he going? Ah. You thought you knew, but ByuN just drops it right back down. Will he notice the... Oh, he had to notice that. He sieges up the observer right there. This is quite an awkward positioning for everyone. As if Zest finds a good angle or catches ByuN loading up into the Medivacs, obviously, it's very bad for ByuN. But the bio army damage is so high that Zest can't fight it right now. He has to shave off the edges. And now finally, the Reaper wall backfiring here. Well, I guess this is happening. Some force fields, but with the addition of those Widow Mines, there goes the Cyber Core. The Cyber Core and a gate. Now, Zest wanted to go into Zealots anyways. That Scouting Immortal? Be careful! Oh, ByuN backing off. And he didn't have a third. So, interestingly, this is actually the best economic situation Zest has been in at this stage of the game. ByuN has been pretty comfortable on his third base, even despite losing at the end of the day. Well, the stim, force field, one force field's not gonna cut it, Zest. Did I just lie? Did I lie to everyone? And one force field was more than enough, or? Alright, +1. Well, here comes the rest of the army. Blink Stalkers doing Blink Stalker related things. Well, on paper, ByuN's army should not have very much trouble with this, especially after breaking the knees of one of the Immortals. There is no observer. Storm on the way, Jimmy. Oh yeah, well, for the first time in the series, mixing it up, which has me questioning, like, what was wrong with the Colossi? But, and intercepting any amount of these Zealots, yeah, 4 or 5 of them gonna get shaved off. There's already a Ghost Academy on the way, but Zest decided this is the Storm game. Alright, he's got Gates, he's got Storm, put them together, what do you get? Gate Storm. Feedbacks coming out. Storm not quite done. More feedbacks. Just goes for the Archons. No energy on these Medivacs, but it did cost Zest. He morphs the Archons right underneath the army. Will we actually get them out? Okay, another one picks it up. Awkward blink, but yeah, now this plays directly. He shield battery overcharges to reshield the Archons, which, I mean, why not? ByuN backed off. There's not much risk here. But ByuN has been going straight to the Ghost no matter what. Like, it feels like right now he's going against the grain with that Templar-based tech path. But here I go questioning Zest again, which is never a good long-term bet. Wow, there are 10 Medivacs on the field right now. Gotta be careful not to EMP them, but otherwise... Oh, the Stormhammer. Zest, one of the first players to really use and abuse that Templar. Is he going for the SCVs? Storms the SCVs! He still keeps one in reserve. Zones out the army, but now he has no splash damage with his army, so he's got to back up. Archons don't really count here. Zest is not building a robotics bay, or any more robos. ByuN is already preemptively building Vikings. One, he has 10 Medivacs. So, I think he's good on the Medivacs for now. And 2, he's expecting Zest to switch into that RoboBay splash damage. But Zest is just stubbornly going, it's Gateway Man. Alright? It's Storm Gateway Man, if you would. And why not? Well, because ghosts exist is what I would argue is why not. But the EMP does... that force field, I think that helped ByuN more than Zest. There's a casual Templar out there. Another great EMP. Well, ByuN is working on +3. Zest does finish up +1 armor, but he's been pretty stingy with the upgrades here. Which means without Storm, the Bio army just shreds him. I think there's no question about it. The Storm is required. Zest! Don't just lose the Templar! He does. You know, and he lost the Prism. So he can't reinforce. One more Storm. Well, this is not going to go well. Is that one Archon, no more Storm. I mean, I don't want to say he had it coming. But, yeah, well, ByuN already preemptively stuttering to catch the inevitable blink out. That, the most important unit/units by far, died almost immediately. Select all army observers. Yeah, you hate/love to see it, depending on whether you're a diamond player or not. It's pretty clear what's happening with those observers. Oh my god, just... yeah. Well, snipes onto the Zealots. Yeah, well... so Zest just decided, we're gonna try out the Storms. And then he lost his Prism full of Templar! One job. Zest, one of the most... you never know what you're gonna get. Game to game, series to series. The Colossi worked twice. Pretty convincingly as well. The blink into Colossus. So he's like, you know what? Let's try something completely different. And of all the games to go Colossus, I think the game when you're ahead economically and your opponent is focused on these just straight up Medivacs and ground units, that is the perfect time. So Zest is like, complete 90-degree turn. We're going for the Templar. You gotta make it interesting. I guess he has to wait another... the first two games were too quick. He has a quota. Alright. He's got to make sure to use up his hour of paid Wi-Fi at Starbucks. Otherwise, I mean... what are you gonna do with the rest of your time? Well... double gas for ByuN. But after the Rex... it may be a similar build to last game with a quicker factory and then just to play it safe. Zest had it. He won every part of the early game. It went great. But reaching out for Storm was just too far. He's walling off the low ground. Feeling vicious today, are we? It is 2,000 atmospheres, which does have a slightly smaller wall-off area. But that's usually not the point. There is a Reaper this game. You can pylon block the employee entrance, though there is still the stepping stone here. Factory, ByuN pulls 3 out of gas. So, is intent... nope. Is intending on expanding. Did he miss that? Did he not see the Zealot? The thing is, though, ByuN is adapting. I actually love this. He's expanded on the high ground, because Zest has made a Zealot in every game. So, he's preempted the defense. Oh, gonna get out through the stepping stones. That's like, I knew I should have walled it off. Will the Zealot actually see the expo? He didn't go all the way to the other side quite yet, but the Stalker coming back. Reaper. What am I watching? Okay. That one didn't go great. Can he get the last shot? No. I mean, ByuN's microing as a Reaper here, so good luck. Zealot retreating before the Reaper can come back and well, do as Reaper do. Twilight on the way. A siege tank. Well, did he saw the Twilight. All right. He when you see a Twilight, and now this is true. Write this down. A Twilight Council is not a Stargate. You're welcome. All right. Don't even have to watch my hours-long guides. Just dropping knowledge bombs right here for you. So when it's not Stargate, then you don't need as much anti-air. It's likely Blink Stalkers, but at the very least, siege tanks are going to serve you better than a Cyclone. No matter really what is coming out of the Twilight. Finally. Wait, okay. Yes. Kill it! What? Oh my god, he's styling! Why? 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 It had to be a flex. I see no other reason to stop A-moving when you're obviously going to kill the Reaper. Besides flexing on it. Well, Pro's like, uh-oh. Guys, bit of a problem here. Stop saying that, Jimothy. And why did you name yourself that? Ah, see what you get. Well, this is quite an awkward timing for Zest to deal with. Hallucinated Archon. There's no, like, ByuN knows that's not real. I don't, yeah, this is not, yeah, that's, well, that's, no. Okay, well. Alright, game 5 it is. Here we are. Uh-huh. Well, just kind of dies. Zest is the... Try... Game 5. Oh my. Pride of Altaris, the spiciest map. The full golds with 8 mineral pouches and 2 gases. The 4 levels of the map. Zest has shown some incredibly unique strategies here in every matchup. ByuN, I think, will eventually end up with a bunch of Marines. So these are my predictions. I know, very bold. Zest, something. ByuN, Marines. Thank you, Winter. That's why we like every video you have. For those just... that insight and the analysis into this professional StarCraft. As I predicted, ByuN makes a barracks. Zest does not. And I did mention the gold base. I'm not saying he's a gold digger. But I am saying, and this story I've told before, at Home Story Cup 20 in person, in the before times, it was actually it was like November in Germany. So people would bring like winter coats in, if you would, not of me, into the what was a tropical island resort, which is very warm inside. So that was a whole weird thing. But one of the, like, in the player area, there was this really fancy looking coat that somebody had just left draped on a chair somewhere. So looking at that coat and wondering, like, who would leave such a fancy coat? Well, first, we looked it up. We were able to find it because you can, like, image search it. You can see the brand. $2,000 coat just draped on a chair. And I think you already know where this is going. But guess who eventually comes and picks it up and puts it on? Zest. What I'm trying to say is the gold base is not that surprising to me. Recalls his probes. ByuN is just playing nice. ByuN even SCV scout. ByuN has not gone outside his base. ByuN is playing the rest of the series, whereas Zest is playing Pride of Eltaris right now. Like, neither player has really scouted. They're both just kind of going about their business, but unfortunately for ByuN, Zest's business is very good right now.
SCV ready.
Jimmy! No, bring up the tab. No, what? Oh, okay. All right, you just mash buttons. Eventually, you'll find it. The APM required to observe games in StarCraft is surprisingly high. Well, it's a Widowmine drop. Does he have... No, he doesn't have an armory. ByuN flies by. Oh my god, this is a total disaster for ByuN. He's gonna see the gold, and his Widowmine drop shouldn't do anything. Oh no. Zest just wanted to make sure we had a 5-game series so he could show off his Pride of Eltaris build, which is just take the gold and then TBD. Widowmine drop heading out. Blink is done in 5 seconds. Zest may have mistimed this very slightly here. Yeah, 2 Stalkers to Marines is not ideal. He should kill the rest of the Marines, but... yeah, a bit of an unforced error there. So Zest is like, you know what? I lost a little bit too much money. Why don't I just take the other gold? I need a new coat. Because... well, these are Blink Stalkers, so... that's like the Widowmine... okay, alright. He does get a shot off. The Raven scouted it immediately, but what are you gonna do about it, ByuN? There's Stalkers everywhere. ByuN has almost no actual units. Zest with the double gold! Oh my god. And he's the one attacking. ByuN doesn't even have a 3rd CC. It's like 1 tank? Psh. He's fighting Marines under tank fire. ByuN saw it. He flew right over the gold. This is the most Zest series in game we could have had. And as it so often is, the game is this. We're all playing Zest's game. It's just occasionally he lets you win it. So many series are just Zest doing whatever he wants, win or lose, and the other player desperately trying to figure out the actual timing to not get swept. Well, 1 Stalker finds the Raven, kills it, walks away, no problem. So, one of the most expensive and important units for ByuN, now dead. The Zest, he has charge. He's now mining from double gold, which, like, it's about as much income as you can get at this stage. ByuN picks up.
Armed and ready.
And he flies right into the pylon that Zest already has. Zest, there's a couple Stalkers here. Does he back off? In a surprising show of pragmatic play, Zest does back off instead of committing onto the tanks. Oh my god. Yeah. Why do you even load up into the Medivacs at this point?
Research complete.
Zest, aka Doctor Strange. He already knows what you're going to do before you do it. So, I think your best shot is just building an army that this Gateway Man army can't necessarily beat. But ByuN keeps trying to outmaneuver Zest, which is just not happening. The Artosis here, oh, it's not real. ByuN panics though a little. A scan, I think there was an observer. ByuN picks up. This is awkward.
Somebody, get me out of this.
There's another pylon! Because of course there is, but those are just Widow Mines. Anyway, Zest just goes for the throat here. Kind of wanders into the fight. It's not going great. This is a bad fight for Zest. Another Medivac spotted. Well, I mean, he's warping in a dozen zealots at a time or so. Oh my god. What happened to the other one? Oh, it's a disaster. I don't see any Medivacs on the map. I think he lost the other one too. That was the survivor. Oh, he's got double prism. You see, Zest just... I don't want to say Zest threw those last two games just because he wanted to flex on Pride of Altaris. But I'm just asking questions. Of course, ByuN is not dead, and also Zest is not going for a Robo-Bay, but instead a Templar Archives. So there's still very much throwability in this game. ByuN throws up his Minecraft build. The double he's like, Zest is like, I heard your double drops didn't work out. Let me show you how it's done. And gets out. Oh my god. Every unit survives. Observer in position to see any attacks. Like, this is just mining from here. It's right. It's almost in tank range. A single hallucinated zealot. Here come the prisms. He's just flying. Oh my god, the splash damage. Zest is... I mean, this is a horrible fight, to be honest. This is a terrible... He doesn't even have Storm yet. This is about as horrible as it ever could have gone. It does not get much worse than that. He took maximum splash. Storm is now done. There are no ghosts. And the Medivacs are out of energy, so, like... The Storm's good. He's got another Templar. Zest is just working his way through the mines here. I don't know what happened to the energy on that other Templar, but he warps in 10 more zealots. Oh, and Zest takes it 3-2. Oh, you disgusting, filthy, beautiful man. He made a series out of it. But here we are. Oh my. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I did. Thank you to AlphaX and Into the Clan. The ITAX Super Series is what this was from, this display. I hope you enjoyed. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Check out these beautiful videos / people. And I'll see you next time. How long until he actually... He's gonna Brett Favre it for a while. We will see. But, like, all the things. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.